Hey guys, we're DJ Ben, and today we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about nonverbal and verbal communication. I'm Noah.
I'm Jess.
I'm Emily.
Bridget.
David.
So the most basic principle that we have seen most evidently within our group throughout the semester is verbal and nonverbal communication. Now, I'm not saying that this is necessarily a problem for our group to begin with, but it was always a distinct occurrence that we always kept in the back of our minds. Verbal and nonverbal communication is an assortment of gestures, facial expressions, and body positions known as body language, and is incredibly important in both cultural and environmental conditions.
Hey David, how's it going? So I know finals are coming up and super stressful. So how are you doing on them? What are you doing? Oh, okay. So does that mean you're sad? You're sad? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What exactly are you doing? Is that part of like your anatomy final? Bad. So it's bad? Is everything okay? I'm so confused on what you're talking. What are you doing? I just want to know how your final. Is that a belly button?
Nonverbal communication is anything in a message except the words themselves. As you can tell for David and Emily, this didn't work out so well.
I'm just trying to talk to David, and I just don't even know what he's trying to tell me. He's not using any communication whatsoever, and he's just using hand signals and symbols. I don't get it. Like, what even is that?
I thought my drawings were good.
As you can tell by Emily's frustrations with David's nonverbal communication, this circumstance could have better been handled by using verbals. For example, by giving specific examples of what you mean when using abstract terms can help. Also, being as concrete as possible and quantifying your stance will make communicating a lot less frustrating. Therefore, if David would have communicated with verbals by simply saying, "I am so unprepared for my finals, I have been stressing so much, I really don't think they're going to go well, and I really need them to because I need to pass my classes," it would have led to an actual conversation, instead of Emily discussing what David was meaning to say. From David's use of nonverbals, and as a result of miscommunication, him and Emily are going through bypassing, which is when members think they have the same meaning for a word, or in this case, drawings of emotions, but in reality, they actually do not. So, to better improve a conversation next time you're talking, make sure to use verbals instead of nonverbals.
What do we have in here?
I cannot tell you enough how many times I've told you, like, over and over, that is Abraham Lincoln on a quarter. Bridget?
I can promise you that it is not Abraham Lincoln. All my entire life, I promise.
So a quarter.
No,
looks
it's not.
like him,
No,
you know,
it's not.
Honestly.
Guys, what's going on? Why is there so much tension?
There is intention.
We're not okay.
Now, although Noah verbally said that he was okay, if you look at his nonverbals, he's clearly not. His face is very red and tense. His neck is tight and taut. His body is ready for action to fight.
Just irked me so much. Like, anyone in the right mind, obviously, quarter is 25 cents. Anyone in their right mind knows that. But I kid you not, I've been raised and known that, like, it's Abraham Lincoln on the quarter, and it just really bothered me that she told, like, look. You gonna sit there and tell me that that is not Abraham? Get out of here.
Honestly, it just baffles me that he doesn't know that George W. Bush is on the quarter.
As you can tell from my reaction in this scene, it was quite evident that nothing was really just fine. My sudden reaction with Bridget's opinion and my inability to accept that I'm wrong shows through my actions. I was nudged, and because of this, I reacted the way I did. But the nudge was not the only thing that set me off. Bridget tried over and over to tell me that I was wrong, and this caused a buildup within me. Jessica then came in and tried to suppress the situation by breaking it up between us. She asked, "Why so much tension?" And I quickly replied, saying there wasn't when there clearly was, as you can see. Maybe next time I should try to open up to Jess and trust her, and strictly by telling her what was actually happening. Even though it wasn't her problem to begin with, she took the time to ask if I were okay, and as well as Bridget. Maybe by me opening up and talking my anger out, I could have prevented this entire situation through relief of my inner distress. The overall point of this scene was to prove that nonverbal communication sometimes reveals more about a character than verbal communication can. Thank you.
Alright, so yeah, today we're just like learning some math, you know. So as you see, that's one. And then, you know, there's a K there, so obviously it's gotta be a K equals something, so you know, does anyone have an answer?
Hey, Mrs. Smith, are you doing okay today?
Yeah, like, you don't really seem, like, on top of your game, like 100%.
I can tell by the pitch in your voice and your vocal cues that something's up.
Yeah, and honestly, quite frankly, your body language is saying the same thing.
What's going on?
Yeah, I'm fine. K equals 0. Okay, guys, it's fine, okay?
After reflecting on how I acted in class today, I can kind of see how my dulled emotions were misconstrued. I mean, I shouldn't have said nothing was wrong, even though it was obvious I wasn't okay, and that something was bothering me. Through the clash of verbal and nonverbal communication, the overall environment was extremely uncomfortable for everyone involved. Ultimately, in order to avoid a situation like this to occur again, I should have 1. Had a neutral and positive attitude, 2. Held a professional stance, and held personal problems not relating to the group inside. 3. Been honest about any problems, if any, to the group in order to decrease any group tension. 4. I could have also been more sensitive to others' emotions. And 5. By substituting neutral words for potential trigger words, as well as being more aware of the type of audience I am talking to, I would have been able to have more control over the situation ultimately. I mean, I just really wish that I would have thought about my nonverbal actions directly and how they affected my entire class. I feel like I failed my students. Okay. Neutral emotions, Emily, neutral emotions.
If you or a loved one have ever experienced any of these portrayed situations, we strongly urge you to implement verbal communication skills into the picture. Throughout these scenarios, we can see how important verbal communication is in everyday life and how quickly problems can arise if ignored. If you choose to implement these communication skills in your own life, it will benefit you as a whole because then you will be able to clearly express your own desires as well as have the ability to understand others' needs as well. In regards to our group, we have found that verbal communication skills are incredibly helpful in our group process because without them, it would be very difficult or even impossible to get anything done in order to be successful.
The reason verbal and nonverbal communication is the most important concept of this course is because without using both of them together, we cannot get a full grasp of what the speaker is trying to say. But when you pull together and use both of them to find out the true meaning of someone's speech, then and only then can you truly consider yourself to be communicating with somebody. As a group, we have implemented this concept countless times, from knowing when someone is messing around by the smile on their face after they crack a joke, or realizing when to get serious by assessing everyone else's body language, or even stopping and taking a break when we see someone is clearly struggling. If we could not analyze and compare what someone is saying to what someone is doing, the group would not be the well-oiled machine that we are today. Do I go?
Hey David, how's it going?
What do we have here?
How many times I have to tell you that is Abraham Lincoln in the book on the quarter.
I promise on my life it's not Abraham Lincoln.
Bridget, this is the 3rd time I've told you. This is... When are we gonna stop?
Yeah.
Okay,
Take like a gun.
Okay, it's going.
ready?